Today I got this message, and it was very unpleasant for me, cause it means very unpleasant things. It's a very big and serious story, and maybe you won't like it if you are a fan of NFKRZ. But I have to tell it. The thing is, the Slavic community is very small and tight. The list of people from Slav countries speaking English language is about 10 people. So we know each other, and we all are doing vlogs on YouTube. This is the only way how you can use your second language. Me and Roman, we were friends. We lived together in Norilsk city, and we were studying at the same university. We learned process automatization engineering in there. Norilsk city is the very big city. It is very expensive. And so to live in there, you have to earn a lot. The usual situation, we were sharing one apartment, split the rent. It was pretty hard to survive in there. We had to share food, we had to split money, we had to cook. That's where we stopped to be friends. That's where we said to each other, we don't know each other anymore. Every day, for 5 years, Roman was buying the same stuff. A can of peas, and a can of fish, a can of sardines and tomato sauce, we call them kilka. It was very cheap, comrade, I don't know, the year 2010, almost 15 years ago. Now I'm 45 and he is 43 years old. Yeah. He was making the same recipe every day. You took the can of beans, you took the can of sardines, you mix them together, you add the raw onions, you mix it in a pan, you add the red pepper, you add the black pepper, mixing it together and eating right from the pan with a metal fork, with a loaf of bread. Every day. The smell of this food itself was already terrible, and I had to open the windows. And Norilsk is the city where the average temperature is minus 40 degrees Celsius. I mean, I know where he took it. In those student times we were watching the culinary chef, the culinary vlogger, Madison. Yeah, Madison. He's famous because of what he was doing with the cakes. Yeah, very interesting. It's where he saw this recipe. He was eating it, and almost right after that, he was starting to fart. It was so hard. When your eyes are getting wet, his face was getting red. He was crying. The fart was so heavy. You could almost touch it. It was so hard to live with him. And he was like, it's all we can afford, you have to survive. It is okay, it's the student life, yeah, I get it. It was the New Year's Eve, and we found the job. We had to go in the kindergarten and cheer the children in there. Small concert and stuff, the year 2010, yeah, so the big room, the hall. I am the Santa Claus, but that with no beard. And I had the big chest. And I had to call the child, ho ho ho, come here, dear child, to give him a present, but in that time, the tiger should jump out of the chest and like scare them, but kindly spook a child and give him a present. Happy Tiger's Year! And we had to give the presents. It was the big day. The celebration for the whole city, for all the children. Ah, here you go. Ah, here you go. Ah, here. He was a hero, I don't know. So jump out, jump out, jump out, jump out. It was hot in that costume and stuff, but he did everything fine. It was like around 10 o'clock already. And we wanted to celebrate our own New Year's night, and we finished it just in time. It was pretty far from our place. The last bus, 10:30. The last one, it's New Year. We are changing, preparing to go, and it turns out he can't take off his costume. Something with zip lock. We had to hurry up. It is minus 40 outside, but he's in the costume of the tiger, and I'm in a coat, So, okay, let's run like this. The huge crowd on the bus stop, cause like it's the last bus and everyone is going home. We're hopping in this bus. The road would take us like around almost 2 hours. We had to find ourselves at home just in time. It's a long trip, and he was in a helmet like the tiger hat. A lot of people, you had to stand like this. He started to suffocate. Mark, блять, I'm not good. We had to do something. We tried to break the jeep, it didn't work, so we ripped that costume apart. And it turned out it was okay, because the costume was holding all the gas for the whole day. Or maybe for 5 years, I don't know. It was like the explosion. The wallpapers in the bus fell off. Children screaming. Women crying. The driver didn't make it to control the bus, and we fell on the side. Somewhere in the middle of the road. Minus 40 degrees Celsius. Only trees, snow, and wolves. We tried to call for help, but it's the New Year. We waited for 4 hours. It was very cold. People were standing just in the middle of the road, in the forest. The only way to hide from the freeze was to hide in his costume. It was the only warm place. And we were putting it on to warm up a little, one by one, for 5 minutes, giving it then to the next victim. And everyone is still thinking in there it was an accident on the factory. We decided to forget about it because it's the student time. It gave birth to the urban legend about this recipe, with dead consequences. We moved to the other city, we established in Chelyabinsk, and it didn't help. So we had to leave the country. Why am I telling you that story now? Because of his message. Now, it turns out, he was doing it on purpose. We lived in one apartment. We were the students. We had to somehow share the room to bring our girlfriends. And he told me it was okay. But once he brought his girlfriend for their first night together to watch the movies, you know. I was sleeping in the kitchen that night, because we had one only room. And it was the coincidence, Roman. It was the coincidence. You told me to eat my favorite onion with salted herring. I didn't know the consequences. Maybe I had a weak stomach. I don't know. I know you had to evacuate that night. I know it. It was hard for me too. I did not want to fail your happiness with Svetlana and Alena and Margarita. I was happy for you. It wasn't on purpose. I did not hit your woman with that wall of neighborhood. I did not hit her. I did not. You could tell me, hey Mark, it's a small problem. We can solve it, like man. But now it is okay. We're even. Now we're adult people, 40 years old, and we can do our big missions. I have to tell the truth on my channel, to reveal everything, and you have to reveal to the people the truth that the Russia is not that comfortable place. And I hope in the future we all will do the same very serious stuff in our Slavic community. You will tell about Russia, I will tell the clear truth. Boris will cry, Vladimir will seduce other men. That's how, together, separately, we will build the new world. Yes. Maybe I made up some details, but still it was a good time. That's what they call to have the magic piece.